I just really recommend going and trying some physical therapy. I think you will really change your mind about your chronic pain, and I think it will help a lot with how you feel and how your mentality works and what your goals are. You set goals and actually see a light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, welcome back to the Spero Means Hope Podcast, where we take storytelling to a whole new level by sharing amazing patient stories, interview experts in the community, and share resources for clinicians and students. So today we have with us Allyson. Hi, Allyson.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. About the same every day.
Good. And Allyson is one of our awesome patients at our Katy North clinic. So, Allyson, can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? And what do you do for fun?
Oh goodness. I'm from Houston, Texas. Originally, that's where I was born. I live in Katy, Texas now, and have been for quite some time. Um, and for a living, I buy and sell things online on a selling app and for paper craft and art stuff. And I'm doing really well with that. But before this, I worked at MD Anderson for about 18 or 20 years. I can't remember. I'm doing telecommunications and programming phone systems and stuff like that for them. It was a great job. I loved it. But I got sick and issues came up, and this is what I'm doing now. This is where my path went. So for fun, I would have to say, this is kind of boring, I guess, hanging out with my husband and my dogs.
Aww.
Well, because everything's so crowded and crazy now, and when we go out to eat and things like that. But I guess once you get older, you kind of settle in.
I think hanging out with your husband is like the best hobby. Like it is
Well,
not boring.
friends and family. Yeah. I like to just do personal things with my people.
Nice. And you said you
So,
used to work in telecommunications. How did you get into that field?
well, I happened to get a job as a sales secretary at a phone system company, a digital phone system company, and they promoted me quickly to program their phone systems with customer service. And they sent me to school and everything, and I learned how to do all that, learned the lingo. And then I got a contract job at MD Anderson for a year to do a whole building opening at once. And I had to set up training for 12 floors and program all their phone systems and train every single person on their phones. And then they wanted to hire me. So they hired me on after my contract. And it was great. MD Anderson is a wonderful place to work.
Yes.
It's very rewarding.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And so, Allyson, what first brought you to physical therapy? And you're welcome to share as much or as
Oh
little
my.
details as you like.
Oh me, oh my.
Oh.
Well, when I was 25, I'm going to keep it short, I hope. When I was 25, I decided I wanted a brand new car. And my dad said, okay, I'll co-sign on one for you. So that's great. So I went to this dealership and got a brand new Trans Am. That's how old I am. And it was 8 cylinders, and I just signed off on it, and I had the paperwork for my dad to sign. I left the dealership, and 10 minutes later, I wrecked it. And I flipped over 59 South, over 3 lanes of traffic, and I landed upside down on the feeder road.
Oh, my goodness.
Slid to the feeder. And thank God I had my seatbelt on, and by the grace of God, I survived. And about 6 people pulled over immediately, and they were trying to get me out, and then they were like, no, we shouldn't get her out. So I stayed in the car, but basically I had a concussion and a scrape on my arm, so I thought. And my boss, I called him because he lived like 2 minutes away, and he came and got me. Thank goodness. I didn't want to go to the hospital because I thought I was okay. But come to find out, I had 10 herniated discs from the flipping and whatnot. And I went to a sports doctor because I didn't know what to do with my back. And I proceeded to get injections of cortisone shots for so many years because I just didn't want to deal with the fact that maybe I had to have back surgery. And fast forward through all that, I started having a lot of neck pain about 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago, my neck started bothering me and it started leaning to the right without me really knowing. My husband would say, "Your head's leaning." And I'm like, okay, this is strange. And one morning I woke up and I couldn't walk and I couldn't feel my hands at all. It was like falling asleep on your hands falling asleep underneath you. And that's how they felt, real tingly and painful. And I tried to get up to walk, and I just fell out of the bed. And my husband was out of town. So it took me about 2.5 hours to call him from my cell phone because I couldn't get it to do anything. And he drove home. He was like 5 hours away. And he drove home, and he tried to take me to the emergency room, and they thought I was drug seeking. And so they gave me a shot of something to calm me down because I was talking gibberish because I couldn't talk because I was in so much pain. And they sent me home. And then I called my rheumatologist the day after, and she thought I had a virus. So or something wrong, a bacterial infection. I was like, I can't walk. So I took the antibiotics for a couple of days while I was just laying in bed, and my husband had to feed me and everything. It was awful. So finally got a hold of my primary doctor, and he said, "Go to the emergency room immediately and tell them I sent you." And I did. And they sent me in for tests, a whole MRI with contrast on my back and my neck. And they immediately sent me to a room, and I had surgery. And they just went in the front and put hardware in here because I had like 3 floating discs, I guess you could say. Not floating, but they were not very attached. And they did this surgery 2 days before my birthday. And after my surgery, I was starving because I hadn't eaten. And they gave me the wrong menu, and I ordered a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I choked on it. And I had to have surgery again on my birthday. So they went back in and they put bigger hardware in with stuff. And so 2 weeks later, I had some x-rays, and my neurosurgeon said, "No, you're going to have another surgery. It didn't take." And I'm like, "What do you mean it didn't take?" And he said, it's not staying in place. So they put rods in the back of my neck right after that. And after that, I couldn't really walk. I could walk after my first surgery, but the feeling in my hands didn't really come back all together for about 8 months, 8 to 10 months. And I was so depressed because I couldn't. My husband had to feed me, he had to help me dress me, he had to do everything until I started getting more feeling back. And my neurosurgeon said it takes a long time for any kind of nerve pain to rejuvenate, nerve issues to rejuvenate in your hands. And I was just extremely depressed, I can tell you that. I mean, I just broke off from the outside world. And finally, they had set up some physical therapy for me for concierge. And I'm just going to say I don't recommend it because you can't get the full activity you need for physical therapy. And plus, they wouldn't show up. So I really never got any good therapy for my neck. And then since I could walk again, I was walking like a little 5-year-old, kind of trotting around. And it immediately kicked in my sciatic nerve. So I had to have lower back surgery, a laminectomy. And that caused a huge amount of nerve issues, and I'm still dealing with that. But it took my insurance company 3 months to get my physical therapy set up. So I was not moving right, and everything I did, I think, affected of what I'm having issues with now. So finally, a friend of mine referred me to Spero, and I went to the Katy location. And the first day I went in, I met Ethan, and he's fantastic, I have to say. He's very thorough in doing my inauguration or whatever you call it.
Evaluation.
Did all
Inauguration. I love it.
He was great. He's great. He's uplifting. He's wonderful. Everybody from the front desk when I walked in just made me feel happy,
Aw.
because at this point I was depressed and I just never thought I was going to be out of pain or walk normal again. And Ethan he cut up with me a lot, and he was funny, but he decided to refer me to Mike, who is a manual therapist there. Actually, he's a doctor. I call him Dr. Mike. But he doesn't like to go by that. He's very humble, I have to say, humble. But first day I met Mike was the day my life changed. Um, I had no hope. I didn't see anything good in the future. But Mike did something in my neck to make it feel better. And I went home and without being in pain. And I was amazed because I didn't think it could happen. He just knows he just puts your hands on you, and immediately he just knows where it is. It might hurt at first, but no pain, no gain. But yeah, I ask a lot of questions and he answers, because every time I come in, I'm like, this hurts, that hurts. But I've learned a lot from him. I've bought a total gym for my house so I could do the exercises he shows me.
Yay.
And I know I drive him crazy. I do the water therapy too, and I love it. And Akshu is amazing. And Haley when she's there, she's going to be a great physical therapist.
Yes.
Haley.
Yes.
She stays on you. No goofing around. That's good. That's okay. She's awesome. But yes, he made me feel hopeful. And when they moved down to Katy North, I was afraid that I wouldn't be allowed to move there. And I said, I'm not going to go to any more physical therapy unless I'm assigned to you. And so he did get me transferred down there. And I'm just glad. You'd have no idea how much him and Akshu and Haley have changed my life and my attitude. I'm not depressed anymore. Well, maybe a little. No. But it is depressing not being able to walk and do stuff all the time. But I am feeling better, and I'm doing a lot better than I was 7 months ago. I'm so grateful for Spero and for Mike and Akshu. And, everybody, to be honest, the whole facility is great. Everybody's wonderful. Oh my gosh, I just can't even tell you. It's just a happy place. The atmosphere makes you feel great.
Yeah, Allyson, I am so glad that you found pain relief, and I agree with you. Like, Mike has magic hands. He's absolutely amazing, and
he has magic hands.
Yes,
I hope he has insurance on them.
He's highly skilled, and so are Ethan and Akshu and Haley, and so
yes,
I'm so glad. Yes,
I just love that place, and I've put as many reviews as I can out there. I just met the owner, and it's just, I can't explain how you can go from bad to wonderful overnight, and that's
Yeah.
how it happened.
I
I'm not fully healed and everything, but I'm on my way. I
yeah.
think I'm on my way.
You're on your way. I love this.
My
Um
journey has been long, but I see hope at the end of the tunnel.
yeah.
And I think my husband does too. I don't know. I'm
Mm.
so happy.
Yes, and it's been quite a journey. So, like the multiple surgeries, so three in the neck, right, and then the one in the back. That's quite a lot. And so,
It is.
yeah, how like so you've mentioned a lot of physical therapy. Like, how else have you been able to cope with that pain? Because sometimes it is hard to deal with chronic pain, and it's easy to get depressed, like you've mentioned. What are some other things that also help you cope with pain?
Um, laying in bed and just taking a break and putting your feet up is great. Um, you know, you've got to get your circulate. You just have to become more aware of what's going on with your body instead of ignoring it. Because if I wouldn't have ignored some of the things that have happened to me, I probably wouldn't be in this situation right now. I would have, but I would have never thought, hey, maybe I need some neck surgery to relieve some of this pain. You know what I mean? So, but I am more aware of my body and what's going on with it. And I've asked Mike so many questions about things, and he's amazing. And because of him, I have acquired like a thermogun or theragun. Yes, I acquired one of those, and I can't live without it. I'm always walking around with the thing, and um, yes, he's just knowledgeable, so knowledgeable. Um, the facility down at Katy North is great because he has laughter, he's just upbeat, he's never down, and he never wants you to talk bad about yourself. But yes, I love going there. But yeah, my journey has been very very hard because it's been a long process, and I've just come to learn how to be patient. And that's not one of my things is patience, but I've learned to definitely have some. If you want yourself to be better, you have to work on yourself. Um, learn to love yourself, kind of thing. It's hard. You really have to take care of yourself, and when you're younger, you think you're never gonna need to do that. Because trust me, I know. I never thought I was going to get old. I'm very childlike mentality, but my body isn't anymore. I'm used to running around and going, and now I have to realize you're not going anywhere, lady. Or it's going to be in a slow motion. But yeah, I mean, I'm out and about all the time. I'm trying to do what I can and maintain some walking and getting some motion instead of sitting behind my desk all the time.
Are there any milestones, maybe something you thought like you'd never be able to do again, that you're just very proud of being able to do? And it can be like very little, but what are some
Well,
things you're most proud
the
of?
smallest things are really sometimes the biggest things.
Yes.
And I would say the day I was standing and talking to Mike, and he said, "You're standing with your head straight," because usually my head kind of goes to the right because it's always hurting. And he goes, "And you've been like that the last couple times I've seen you." He goes, "I just want to let you know your head's straight." I'm like, "My head's straight." So I went and looked in the mirror, and that just made my day because naturally having my head straight is something that's been very hard for me to do for a couple of years now. And, sometimes it goes to the right, but naturally, if it rests straight, that just makes me so happy. I mean, that is a milestone for me. And also, I walk real cattywampus sometimes now because of my surgeries and everything that's happened. And he was like, "You're walking straight too." That just makes me happy. Um, when you walk around and people look at you and you're like, okay, I'm looking like I can't. I'm like I have some disabilities, and they're like opening the doors for you. Here you go. It just makes me want to cry because I'm like, oh, it looks I'm not walking right today. But I try, and it's those things. Those are the you know, and now I can clean my house and do laundry. That makes me happy.
Yes.
I don't like a mess.
Those are the little things that are truly big
It
things.
really is. They. I can't believe when I couldn't walk or feel my hands. I couldn't believe how crazy that was. To be so vulnerable, and I'm so grateful for my husband. He has definitely been my rock. Him carrying me around, that was a joke. Let me tell you something. When your husband has to do your hair for you and he watches YouTube videos to do it, it's not good. Um, I just said, put a bun on my head. He found the worst hot pink thing he could hair tie, and he tried to put it in a bun, and it was just, oh my gosh. Going in public was very embarrassing when he was doing my hair because
Aww.
it was a mess, but I really didn't care at that time.
Yeah.
At least he tried. He did
Yes.
the side ponytail one time.
Yes, it's an A for effort. So-
So, it was funny because I looked very funny.
Aw.
Yeah, but it's just sometimes you don't care at that point. You're just like, whatever.
Yes, you focus on something else. And
Yeah, and you kind of find yourself and you find out who's there for you and who's not. That's so grateful for so many people.
Allyson, if there's anyone listening that maybe is dealing with chronic pain, they've been in pain for so many years,
Mhm.
what are some like encouraging words you can share with the audience and any maybe words of wisdom you have for them?
Oh, goodness. If you have chronic pain and you're not doing anything about it and you just think it's never going to go away, or you think that maybe with medication it'll get better or something, I would highly recommend you change your mind or attitude about it because be open minded and try whatever you can to, get to feeling better. Chronic pain does not go away. So, through going through physical therapy, I have learned how to do things on my own at home to remedy a lot of my pain or make it feel better to where I can deal with it. And not getting the knowledge of how to make yourself feel better and how to um, have a better attitude because mental is a lot of it, mentality. And keep going to it. Make it your goal to go to physical therapy and do something for yourself. You know, I honestly didn't want to go to physical therapy because I just thought I didn't have the time because I am extremely busy and I'm always on the run. But I couldn't have been on the run without physical therapy. So, they go hand in hand. And I just really recommend going and trying some physical therapy. I think you will really change your mind about your chronic pain, and I think it will help a lot with how you feel and how your mentality works and what your goals are. You set goals and actually see a light at the end of the tunnel. Having chronic pain, if you could just take the edge off, that's amazing. And I've learned things that I can do to take that edge off or help myself feel better without having to take medication. And it's little things you can do that you don't even realize. You can just stand at the bar or in your kitchen and just do some toe steps or whatever. You just learn, everything. I know how chronic pain is, and it's not fun at all. And it can put you in a dark place, but now I'm in a light place. I am. And I look forward to going to physical therapy, which I never thought. My husband is shocked that I've maintain going. And I've only missed a handful of appointments, which is good for 7 months. They never give me a hard time about being late because I am late a lot. I just am so happy. Um, and when they mentioned coming on this segment, I was like, okay, that'd be great. I would love to tell my story. I would love to. And they were all excited and they're like, you're going to be our first one. So I was so excited and I can't believe they asked me to do it. So,
Allyson, yes, thank
yeah.
you for sharing your story. And it's very heartwarming to hear you be such a strong advocate for physical therapy.
Mhm.
And as a physical therapist, it makes my heart so happy because, we talk about it in our field amongst ourselves, but just hearing it from patients, how much it's like
Yeah,
changing lives and impacting lives. It's like
it
it
is.
reminds you of like why like this is so important. And so I love that you've had so much pain relief from physical therapy.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just always positive, and you'll get whatever you want to get out of physical therapy. And if you had a bad attitude, like I did when I first started, and didn't think it's gonna be another thing that's not gonna work, um, then you're not gonna really do anything. But I think if you really went and started with an open mind, you would be amazed at what changes. So yes, and I always look forward to going.
Yes, I'm glad it's a bright spot in your day. That makes me happy.
Yes,
Yes.
and water therapy is wonderful too.
Yes, yes, aquatic, yes.
It's great. I do play around in the pool a little too much, but yeah, it is great.
Yes. Alison, is there anything I haven't asked you about that you want to mention to the audience? Any like last parting words?
um. Oh goodness, I don't know. I can talk a lot, and I know I repeat myself, but um, if you have any questions about physical therapy, you can call me. No, I'm kidding. No, I highly would love to advocate for y'all because y'all have changed my whole life. And without y'all, I wouldn't have made it to where I am now. I mean, I'm not fully healed, but darn it, I can walk. I can feel my hands now. And I've just had a lot of positive feedback, and just when you're surrounded by love and uh, positivity, you can't help but have it. If you can't embrace it, then there's something wrong with you. Yeah, just a heads up. Embrace feeling like a family when you go to Spero.
Aw, I
It
love
is
that.
it's like family to me. Yeah.
That's awesome because that's the goal. So that's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well,
Oh.
Well, Alison, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to have this interview with me and for sharing your story. And I'm really glad to know that all the team at Katy North has been helping you. And so I just hope
Mm,
it keeps on going and you see some like pain decrease more and more and more every day. And so
mhm,
thank you,
I do.
Alison.
Thank you so much.